The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting and special edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. As always, we come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
I got an O yesterday. Where's my ticking time bomb? I miss it. Maybe that's just something I'm going to have to do myself. Anyway, as we start off the show, we're at 27.21 on the S&P cash. That's up 23 points, up 212 on the Dow, above 25,100, actually 25,106. NASDAQ's up 87, almost 88 points at 2331. And it's like that old Service Master ad, like it never even happened. Actually, it is, but we're getting very, very close to what I suspect is fairly hard resistance. And a lot is going to be doing, I think, from what we see here today. We may have one of the lightest expiration days tomorrow. I'll look at the data tonight. But if something doesn't change a lot, it looks like they're going to try to pin Apple right at 172.50. It's trading 172.49 right now. Maybe you'll see a half buck or 75 cents up or down. But we're going into a 3-day weekend, and my guess is that we're getting all that stuff out today. And as many people that can will leave and head off wherever they're going, Hamptons on vacation, stock market, Hawaii, maybe, whatever. I don't. Normally, if you have a day like today with some wide-ranging moves, that's about it. Yesterday, we had a phone call asking about coming in. You normally get today is the down day. It looks to me like they took the down day and they tacked on what's going to be in there tomorrow, and we're going to go for a very light volume and probably even light volatility close tomorrow. I'm just looking at these things firming up at different levels like Apple, Microsoft, some of these other ones. We'll look at them today. But options look to be firming fairly fast, and that tells me that these guys are probably ready to just put the B team on for tomorrow and head on out, come back Tuesday from a well-deserved 3-day weekend, especially if you're living up north. Maybe you want to go somewhere for at least a couple of days where it's warm. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in the minds of those folks on Wall Street? I only know what they do. And that's it. Okay, so we've got a lot of big movers on earnings. Kind of interesting. We'll take a look at that. Anything really else happening here? That's kind of it. I've got some emails already in for the day. You can go ahead and email me at path@tfnn.com. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. And you could also post a message in the den. So why don't we just go to history, and then we'll start talking about stuff.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, and on this day in 2005, the now ubiquitous video sharing site YouTube is launched. Few websites have had such an immediate impact on our usage of the internet. Less than 2 years after its launch, Google paid $1.65 billion to purchase it, actually, not repurchase it. Today, it only trails Facebook, Google, and Gmail as the most visited websites in the world, and gets some, 20,000 hours of videos added every single day. And that becomes a problem. And yes, some of the emails were asking me, did I see the Cheryl Atkinson investigation into some of the heads of Google who got their hands caught in the proverbial propaganda cookie jar. Well, we knew already what Google and Facebook and rest of these guys were doing. They pretend to want everybody to have a free speech, but it's much better in theory than in practice. But yeah, there's a lot of these guys. If you wonder why Google's CEO kind of amscrayed and even kind of got and left the board and is leaving, it's mostly because he got his hands caught in the cookie jar. But we'll see about that and some other things. But Google probably the weakest of the bunch right now, probably because they don't have anything that's really catching the imagination. They have a good business. But especially what happens in the near future with ads, especially now that even their own Chrome product, Microsoft's browsers and others are starting to put in offensive security in many of the browsers, and that probably is going to cut down on their clicks quite a bit. Probably why Google has been kind of, at least comparatively, less strong than the rest. But on this day in 2005, they started. What else do we have? Let's go ahead and look at some charts here today, see some of the winners and losers, and we'll talk about what's going on. But that's it. 2720. Maybe we get a little bit more short covering in some stocks, but it certainly looks to me like the spike in Apple. Let's go back here and look at that one. Yeah, I mean, this thing is pinned. I thought in the morning it looked like 170. They were pinning it, and pretty soon a bunch of shorts piled on, and they drove it right up to 172.50. So we'll see how that works out. And let's go ahead and look at a few of them. Let's look at Google. I haven't looked at it in a while on the show, so we'll take a look and see if there's anything to see in here. You got your bounce, but this gap where it's probably heading is this down day of the 5th of February, almost like all of these. This one, it just hasn't had near the energy of the rest of them, but I think it still gets there. So that gets you up to about, what, 1,110? What's that? Okay, the high, the low, the open, the close, well, yeah, 1062 on that day. Could you get to 1,100? It certainly looks like that's in the area there, but we'll see. Anyway, it's that 5th, and certainly above the body of that candle, and probably halfway into the wick of that candle, I think gets you at 1,100. People are using my quotes back against me, and that is interesting. There's no right side to the market. There's only one side of the market. Not the bull side or the bear side, but the right side. From me. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
It's a special month at TFNN, and with market volatility back, we've decided to hold an open house in our Tiger's Den. For this month only, you can get a full 30 days of Tiger's Den membership without paying anything. The Tiger's Den is our interactive chat room where you can chat with other tigers and tigresses along with the TFNN hosts during each of their programs. For all of the details and to start your 30-day free trial to the Tiger's Den today, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this deal is gone.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
We're back. We're talking about Google. This, I'm looking, most of these things look like they're going to get up here, and that looks like, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we can get right into that. But that's where kind of the maximum resistance, I suspect, is going to be, and that's probably going to be Tuesday, Wednesday when we come back. Probably if this market holds up as I suspect it will, and we see kind of this is the expiration for tomorrow. Volume kind of comes in light. We could see 1 or 2 days into next week. And if we don't get volume into those days, then you could consider, or at least I'll consider selling my long positions and probably not shorting. I may just go to cash and take a look and see how these markets do. But we're probably going to get one more pop out here. The reason is everybody just keeps shorting. And almost always these markets have a big tendency to stop going higher when everybody quits shorting. And shortings are just grist for the mill, even in a pop in a downtrend. So, and which we could still be in. I just don't have one big feeling one way or the other, bearish or bullish. I do like my positions just because there are massive amounts of shorts in these things, and they hopped in all the way up. And still, I haven't seen a big sign that these guys have given up. I've got one stock that literally people shorted 60% of the orders coming in that day were short originations for it. The day before that, it was 30. And the stock didn't go down. Yet these people continue to pile on. The last few days, a lot of the biggest movers have been these massive short positions. We talked about Fossil yesterday. There's some more out here. I almost bought this stock, SEDG, and didn't want to be in it for the same reason I didn't want to be in another one going into earnings without some kind of something underneath it. This is Solar Edge, and they make inverters. That takes DC current and turns it into AC, and they've been quite good at this thing. This is a valid breakout on this, and my guess is this is going to be a much better stock to be in long term than the solar cell companies themselves, who are all beating each other over the head on price and trying to get something out the door. But this one, there aren't a lot of valid breakouts out here. But if we go back and look at this one, this thing has been trending higher. It consolidated nicely. It did have a pullback to $30.80, and this one came back on light volume even in the worst part of that pullback. Energy didn't really increase that excitingly. You basically ended up a 50% retrace of the September 11th through the November 24th high, and you got your run out here today. So pull back under 40 bucks out here may be very interesting. This thing has gone from 1350 March 24th. I'd watched this thing and thought about it for a few times. I missed my entry on September 11th, 2017, because really the market really started to turn, and you started to get volume in that November time frame, and that's when I really felt like long was the right way to be up into these highs. In earnings, we've had some other ones in the security business do well. CYBR, which is CyberArk. This is back up into its gap. It's got some decent volume today, but nothing compared to its volume on the downside of about 12 million shares on July 14th of last year. That's 12 million shares, with 1.4 million shares now. So again, a lot of these stocks are just getting into this area where does it mean that they're instantly going to come back down? The answer is no. I don't think anyway. But shorting them is probably not a deal, and as they go higher, they're going to have to grind through a lot of higher prices. When these things get done consolidating, I think maybe there's a better play in that. 405. Okay, just looking at some of the other stuff going on here. Okay, got a lot of email to go through. Anyway, CyberArk earnings, nice pop out here. One we don't talk about much is Schulman. That's HLM. What do these guys do? Let's take a quick. A Schulman is actually the name of the company. Come on. Where's that? I clicked. Come on. I clicked with the clicky thing, and it's supposed to bring up what it does. Not here. Does it not have it? Doesn't act like it. Well, we'll come back to this one. Global plastic supplier and petrochemical giant may be bought out. Looks like it. So we'll take a look at that. Anyway, valid breakout on this one, certainly with volume. And this thing was consolidating all the way through October of last year through today, when it did break above that level. So that's kind of interesting. Let's take a look at some other ones. Of the losers, Intap was the biggest one. Earnings were not all that bad, but their taxes and their setup for the overhaul in taxes was pretty horrific. Was doing fairly decently until they came out with the one-liner on how big a charge they're going to incur because of the way that their taxes are structured. Down on huge volume. Is it the end of the world for this company? Probably not. But my guess is it's going to take about 2 quarters for this company to get through the overhead and write off a lot of the way that they structured their taxes. Business is not that bad. But my guess is that this one would be able to come back to about 48 bucks. That would fill about half this gap from November 16th of last fall. So that may be one where if it continues to come down on lighter volume and consolidates, you might be able to get the next leg up in that. Not a bad company. And of course, the big Mac Daddy out here is Cisco. This has been moving higher for a while. This gap away on the November 16th just really has never stopped. You had basically a standard pullback to February 6th lows. February 9th, you popped a little bit, came right back down to it. Earnings were good. It's kind of rolled back a little off the highs of 45.10 today, but not surprising. A lot of people probably wanting to ring the register on this one. But this thing probably going to find support just under 43 bucks in the near future. I can't see shorting that one. Earnings were actually fairly decent. Now, maybe their books are good, but you've got to be making a pretty large bet here that these things are doing what they're doing for a reason. When we come back, see if there's anything else out here. I want to look at Intel again today, so we'll look at that when we come back. Your calls at 877-927-6648.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Question in the den is, can you explain Cisco's sales and profit growth? How do you do software and the recent acquisitions drive growth? I don't know if the recent acquisitions actually have done that much for growth. I think their growth is coming, at least I had dinner with a big wig in a Dell-related, used to be a Dell-related company, who does a lot of government work. We were talking about a few things and about what hardware that they can use and what they're allowed to do, and what companies like Amazon Web Services and Google's and Microsoft's Azure, Google's thing. Nobody, there was a time where no one really worried that much about whose routers you're using. But now it seems to be the router is the weapon of war for China and Russia. And a lot of people had been using very less expensive routers, but these routers were being made they were designed by companies in Europe. But by the time the things came and got to the shores, they already had preloaded viruses already in them from China. And a lot of people are just thinking it just isn't worth the risk anymore as a front line. These things are, and their flagship router they sell the most of, it's about $5,500. You can buy the knockoff versions of these things for $3,000. So pretty significant cost savings. I always thought that Cisco would be inundated by these less expensive routers. But the security issue and China's inability to wait until they had a bunch of these things in the field and then virus them up has become a huge issue. And I think they've got $67 billion that they're going to repatriate, and they're going to, of course, buy back some shares. But they actually had some fairly decent revenue growth, and I think that was the question, not why they're higher today. But as far as what they're doing, I think they're being saved from a lot of people that would offer products for less money, which I always thought would hurt them long term, just on the basis of security. No one wants to trust the routers to secure their businesses. Certainly you can't use it in the military. Companies like Amazon that have gotten these huge military contracts, it's just better for them to buy Cisco. They don't have to worry about all the other security issues that go back into it to get those contracts, to satisfy the contracts, because I think this NSA and the CIA are all using Amazon-based web services, and to get that done, Amazon has to buy Cisco or other routers that have a long ISO chain of paperwork that follows it all the way up, including taking care and validating software in these routers. And that's one thing that you really can't do. I'm going to talk to Tom O'Brien tomorrow in our Tech Insider issue about Huawei, where the NSA is just basically saying, if you get one of their cell phones, just expect everything you do and type to go directly to China. That there's absolutely no reason in the world you want to buy the Chinese Huawei smartphone, because they're literally nothing but virus devices from the factory. These things they didn't even bother doing it in firmware. They literally, apparently down in the chip level, these phones are completely compromised to begin with. So I'm going to talk to Tom about that tomorrow. But I think one of the things that is truly saving Cisco from a lot of other people that would be selling products against them is that they're, for the most part, made in the United States and serviced and checked by Americans instead of people like Russians and Chinese. And that may just be it. Huawei, yeah, Xiaomi's kind of the same thing, but I haven't heard that those phones have the same issue. Just the Huawei ones. And if you remember going back maybe 6 months or a year from ago, the Pentagon banned all of the Huawei routers that were coming out of China. So I think it's the Xeon, you've got it, XAOMI. I think it's just pronounced Z, like ZI, or excuse me, like XI, and that's it. Yes, certainly in China, that XAOMI, which is pronounced like XI, is the way that I've heard it before, is doing that. But again, if you go to China, they're pretty much going to put up the Great Wall of China to make sure you don't sell much. They're going to try to get you to give them everything in the way of intellectual property to get into the country, and then there's surprise, you're going to find out that you don't get anywhere anyway. And so, in fact, I posted an article just earlier in the Den about the United States and Japan both going to the World Trade Congress and asking them to make it illegal for China to make any company give up at least some of its intellectual property to a local company there. So I think we're getting to the point now where China thinks that they can push and make U.S. companies do anything they want, but enough of these guys have been burnt that they now know that if they go to China, whatever they give China is basically just going to be stolen, and then they were not going to be able to go and sell their products there like they thought they could anyway. There'll be some flagship things like airliners that China literally can't make. But as soon as they can copy the first 777 and first 787, my guess is that Boeing will have a problem. The only difference is it takes years to get what Boeing had done correctly, and why China can do it. I'm afraid in their supply lines, just too many people are going to put in inferior products, inferior grades of steel, aluminum, everything that goes into the plane. So my guess is that you're probably, no matter what they do, there'll be somebody trying to shave a nickel somewhere along the route of the plane. And that's probably Airbus and Boeing both have an edge that doesn't matter whether China had all of the plans to a 787 and the instructions on how to build it and put it together. Actually building the parts from the composite wings to the other things that are happening now, you'd have to duplicate all that equipment, which they can't really do, and you have to do, of course, the ISO trail of everything manufactured through it, and there's just too many people in there willing to put substandard products into the supply chain, thinking they're going to make a buck or two more in China. And that's always the problem with something that has to have zero defects with China. We'll be back after this.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks! Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. Looking at Intel, just wanted to look at this thing bounce. Basically, it's, what, done a 50% retracement here? Is that what it did? Let's take a look here. Okay. Let's see, 46.44. It'd be a 50%. So you got pretty close to that 45.99 today. Good company, had good earnings. Of course, blew up to 50.85, came off of that. Just looks like it's going to consolidate between the $42 and $46 level for a while. Could get back up to 50.85, but my guess is it would take another good earnings cycle to get it up there. Microsoft, I said this thing was probably going to head back up to 100. I think it can just by itself. You're back up to 92.51. Again, volume's kind of light now, so you may have a kind of a sideways action for a while before these things drift up back again. Those sideways actions may last for a couple of weeks starting next week. So I'm going to be taking a look at this in fact, if this market continues just to drift up into the close today, I'm going to probably look at selling out everything I have. That 2740 area was basically what I was looking at. And as Mr. Miyagi said, best way to avoid fight is not be there. So I'll leave a little taste, a little bit of water to wet their beak on the other side for those people that think 2745 is exactly where they want to short, because my guess is they'll be all over it right there. Okay, so what else do we have? TripAdvisors. This one has rotated all off the highs. Now, this thing had a monster 20-day to cover short sale on it. So standard average volume of the last 30 days. It would have taken 20 days just to go through the shorts. No surprise, this thing goes right up to 47.02. And now, of course, it's down around 42.55. This thing went up. It's holding these highs out here, but not really surprised that it couldn't hold the highs out here. Earnings were good, but not that great. And again, all you need is some kind of super monster short sales into this, and these people were shorting the living daylights out of it going into earnings. So this is another one of those Probably should have waited until the market topped off before shorting stocks again too much. We looked at that one. We looked at that one. So we looked at all the earnings ones that I had an interest in. In fact, let's go ahead and start looking at any earnings for tonight. Okay. Okay, where's, there we are for earnings. So Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, what do we have going on tonight? Okay. Shake Shack, that's not going to move the market. CBS, another one that's not going to move the market. TrueCar, Dynagas, Yamana Gold. So we'll have yet another gold miner out here telling us about what their cost of production is and other things. So you may want to keep an eye on that as your gold bug. Another one that I'm going to be watching closely after the bell tonight is Digital Realty Trust. I'll be listening to the earnings call on this one, mostly because they do a lot of REIT business around Silicon Valley. This thing's been going sideways for 3 days now. Made three little hammers out here. It's right up against Confluence, just slightly above it. I'd really like to hear what they're saying about this pullback and maybe even the last couple of months of startups, because it certainly seems to me like the amount of startups has been dwindling significantly as soon as many of the IPOs started to dry up sometime around I'm going to say 1st of December. The IPO market started to dry up. We really haven't had anything big in that part, and generally the idea is that as long as there's a strong IPO market, there's a strong market to buy and do startups, and Digital Realty is all about these startups for a variety of the stuff that they do. Cray Computers at 4:05 tonight, Cloud Peak Energy, Maxwell Technologies, New Skin Enterprises, see anything else, and that's about it. In the morning, we've got Campbell Soups, J.M. Smucker Company, VF Corporation, McClatchy, to Newell Brands. Those guys are in a big brouhaha. So maybe there will be some light there. Iron Mountain, the company that stores secure data in copper mines. What else is there? Where you really want to store your stuff, because guess what? That copper, man, EMP doesn't have anything. EMP is nothing compared to the Iron Mountains, what is that, Honey Badger, because it don't care. All the copper, make sure that that EMP won't come in and get your records, digital and otherwise. So everything's backed up in those old copper and metals mines with Iron Mountain. If you look on their website, it's got all the pictures. It looks like the side of the NORAD site there in Colorado. Okay, that's about it. And maybe I'll get a chance to look at next week's. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Maybe that's a good thing to do, as I expect sideways action to be light and variable going into the 3-day weekend. So anyway, Digital Realty Trust. So we'll see that after the bell. That'll be kind of what I'm watching. I'm not going to be playing it, but I want to see what they're saying about what's going on out there. Of course, all the REITs have pretty much gotten hammered since interest rates started going higher and bonds started having their issues. So we'll keep an eye on that. What else do we have here in the email? Okay. Want me to look at AMAT and the SMHs and see. You know, you're pretty close if you really thought that this market is having problems. You're looking for about $55 on AMAT. The problem I would have is that the energy coming off this low in AMAT, it may be the strongest semi out here. This thing had juice coming right off the bottom on February 9th and up. In fact, yesterday you had 22 million shares. So this thing has been strong. That being said, you got about $55 is where I'd want to be selling this thing, if not in the next day or so. Again, I like to sell when I can, not when I have to. This may only spend a few seconds at that $55 range. Now, we are going into options expiration tomorrow, so I wouldn't be selling it today. These are the kind of stocks that can go right up there and park on the $55 level. I haven't looked at the options on this one, but if I was holding AMAT, I would wonder whether or not this thing's going to hit 55 for expiration tomorrow. Now, we talked about Apple. We haven't talked about Facebook. And on it, we'll get into the breakout here. Man, this one is not AMAT. We didn't do the SMHs either, so I got to do that. But I wanted to get back in here. This one had an okay day yesterday, but not great. Not like AMAT, not like a lot of other ones. This one continues to be one of the weaker ones out here, and it's right into resistance from the 5th, 6th, and 7th of February.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental, so I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archive workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earned me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And, you know, this one actually does kind of show that we are hitting exactly that wall that I was looking for coming out of the 5th. If you look at that candle and the close there, that's 98.27. Well, that was that close. What is the open? 101.80. So we're back to we're basically around that 102.53. Could it go a little higher? It could, but I think all the easy money out of here at a 93.88, which is the February 9th low, pretty much over. So you've had a fairly decent run. I think you're going to need some consolidation to take care of this, and I think we might have some sideways markets, like I said, starting next week. I suspect shorts are going to look at sideways markets, or any even 5 cents down as the next giant pit of despair. But as we've been saying here, enough with the negative waves. I do think that we will have to consolidate out for a while before we attack any of the new highs, and I will be neither fish nor fowl until I get another signal, neither bear nor bull, I think, until something happens here. But we're pretty close to hitting those highs that we look for. In fact, I was pretty surprised that I thought maybe we'd kind of level out at 2,700 and then go up next week. We could even, by the end of the day, get up to 2,740. I don't think that would be without precedent. Especially if a lot of people were shorting earlier in the day, still have to cover. So we'll look at it. I'll be thinking about maybe but selling my positions and getting free for the 3-day weekend. Maybe at the closeout here, maybe get a nice little pop to sell into. And that'll be kind of it. So we'll talk tomorrow. I'll let you know what I did. Maybe we'll talk about some of the trades that I had. One that got the way that's been killing me all week. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.